right, welcome back to another episode of Stories from the Dirt, everybody. Today we have Kara as the co-host,
Hello.
and we are welcoming Karissa and Trista, Team Velocity from the Rebel Rally. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Hello. So glad to be
Hello.
here.
Yeah. Give us just a brief description about yourselves, and then we're gonna be nosy and ask some questions.
All the questions.
My name is Karissa, and I am coming into my fourth year doing the Rebel Rally. We started in 2021. Um, that's correct, yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah, we started as privateers in the X-Cross category in a Bronco Sport. I am the driver of the team, and we have just grown from there. I'm sure we'll go into it in more detail, but the last 3 years or 2 years, we've been in, and this year, the 4x4 category for Ford. So,
Exciting.
yeah. I'm Trista Smith, navigator for our team. Yes, we started this journey in 2021, or I guess technically it probably started before then, and our first competition year was 2022. Yeah, X Cross moved into 4x4, and now we're looking at quickly approaching entering our third year in 4x4 here.
I don't guess I knew y'all were X-Cross to start off.
oh yes,
Yeah.
Interesting.
yep. X-Cross is privateers, and yeah, it was fantastic.
Quite a story getting to the start line. Go ahead and refresh us on that debacle.
Yeah. So we trained obviously the whole year, prepped for this. I got the Bronco Sport. I got it brand new 2021 first edition, and we put it through the ringer. And then on the drive to the tech inspection, the whole radiator system just exploded. So
Oh my
I
gosh.
was trapped on the side. I was driving by myself because Trista was driving down with her family, and I just lost cell service. It was just getting dark, and I had a blown up radiator. So this nice fire service guy came by, and he um, helped troubleshoot with me. And he's like, "Yo, you don't have water, do you?" And I'm like, "I have everything. Like, I'm going to the Rebel Rally. Like, I'm totally
Don't
stocked with
you know?
whatever could come my way." So yes, I've got water, I've got everything, I've got tools. So I basically just filled it up with water, and he followed me until I got cell service again, and then he had me stop at the ranger station. And he told them I was coming, filled me up with more water, and then I was able to make it to Trista, who then drained the water from her van basically, and filled me up, and we just limped our way to Susanville, where we went to the Ford dealership there, and they were amazing, and I may have cried, and they put me like first in line for diagnostics and service. And Tristan and I left the baby Bronco there with her husband and son, and we continued on to tech inspection in her Ford Transit van.
So
Yeah.
I have so many questions.
Yeah, Kara, it was quite a thing.
One
And
that
that's just
that just
one of the amazing stories these ladies have about their rookie year. That's not even
so
my favorite.
so you didn't rally in the transit van,
N-
obviously.
no, but the vehicle kept not getting ready. All the parts that were being overnighted, like we kept getting this horrible call. Chris at the end of every day was getting this horrible call, like it didn't make it again. Hopefully tomorrow. Oh, it didn't make it. And then it became Rebel's problem where we had to let them know we wouldn't have a vehicle at tech inspection. So we were doing all of our mandatory stuff, all of our paperwork, all the things that needed to be checked off. And they have to have something go through. So the van went through. So we got the number on the van, the little one, and we got the tracker on the van, and the van had to drive out to secret base camp number 1. And at this point we're like 72 hours in, and we're emotional, we're not sleeping. I've never
Oh
seen Carissa
man.
cry. She's cried every day. And I'm driving, and we can't get through the finish line, start line arch.
They're too tall.
We're too tall. We're like 10 feet tall. And I just like had nothing left to give. We were just like, yep.
Man. So y'all had day 3 like before the rally.
Monday, -1, 2, 3, yeah.
Yeah, they had
And
3
then
day threes.
yeah, yeah, basically. So then, by luck of whatever. The vehicle had the radio replaced. A hose had gotten fixed, and Tyler, Trista's husband and son, were able to drive the Bronco to a spot outside of base camp since they could not come into base camp. And we drove the transit van to them. We did the trade off. We made it back. We were able to get tech inspection on at base camp and make it to day 0, the last car off on day 0.
We had 2 hours. We had 2 hours. We did emergency final tech inspection, and then I got the maps and CP guides for the day.
Wow.
And then we were on the start line, and we're first thing is on time enduro, and our kilometers are just zinging on the machine. Everything had reset, and all the numbers were wrong. Yeah, it was quite an experience.
But at that point, we did not care. We were there. The rally was a blessing. Like it was not even an issue. Like we were there. That's all that mattered. Like,
That's
and then
incredible.
yeah, and then we ended up just realizing as we went along day by day that we were actually really good at this, and we were having an
Yeah.
amazing time. And so we ended that year in 4th, and we got a stage win in the sand on Glamis and we got Rookies of the Year. So
It's incredible.
yeah.
Right?
It just goes to
Yes.
show you
Okay.
that your perseverance from throughout the rally matters. Like before the rally to the day 0 to like every day, you have to keep that.
Yeah.
You
And
never
your
know.
attitude,
And then
your attitude has to be like ready to go. Like we just saw those kilometers going, and we're like, oh shoot, I guess we'll fix that later. And I'm like doing backwards math to try to be like, what has even happened here? Oh, it's miles
fine.
kilometer relationship. We're like, yeah, it was amazing. But what Krista said was the rally was the gift. Really, I think saved that rookie year of just like, what can you stress about? We were so afraid that all of that had gone down the toilet, and there was nothing you could do. You can't just like bump it to next year. Like it was just going to be, I don't know. It was just we were just going to lose the opportunity. And so to get to show up at the start line, nothing was stressful at that point. Nothing mattered. Day 1 of scoring, our tracker stops working, and we're held up at a site, and staff is like so apologetic, and they're like really sorry about this not working. They're the ones that told us like it's not we've got to fix this. It takes like 30 minutes of our time. Chris and I are like having snacks. Like what? Like this is going to be fine. We're here. This is a piece of equipment that can be like swapped out. This is not a
You kind of
not a
get to a
big deal.
point where it's like it's kind of comical, where it's just like it's fine.
yeah.
We had such a great time, and we always have a great time out on course. I think that's kind of been like a little motto that we hold. It's like the rally is the gift, the experience is the gift. It's really easy to like miss out on the amazing journey you're going on every day. So Chris will always tell me sometimes to like look up, get my head out, see what we're doing.
Nice.
That's awesome.
My favorite bit of history, it's coming, Trista. How many times before you took Rookie of the Year did you practice plotting?
Once, kind of.
Right. Once,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. Yes.
But here's the question: do you
Amazing.
suggest that?
No.
Okay, that's what
No,
that's what I thought.
I got super I don't even humbled's not the right word because they were not trying to humble me. It was like a self. Because Ford had heard about our story of just being like, oh no, this first edition might not make it to the start line. The whole kind of Ford marketing crew was involved, and so when we did make it on site, Melissa and Benzie were a team that year. Melissa and Chris, and they were like, oh, let's like that we could plot with them, like have a little training morning. And I asked Chris, I was like, so like, how do you make your route for the day? And she was just like, I don't know what you're saying. Like, I don't know what
Are
you
you
mean.
kidding me right now? Are you joking?
Like, I was like, well, how do you like, what notes do you make for yourself? How do you make your route? What like, yeah. So that was the first time that I actually like plotted with anybody. And then I think left the next day.
So there wasn't any. Y'all didn't attend any trainings.
We were broke privateers getting us to the start line. We did not do any specific Rebel U stuff. That travel and everything was out of our budget, but we have since, and they're highly valuable. But that first year, what we did is we took we knew navigation. We knew navigation was like the thing that we needed to focus on as well. So Washington winter, Krista signed us up first thing in October for the race. And so we kind of were like, well, what are the things that we can start doing when the weather's really terrible? And we started taking a 4-part navigation class, wilderness navigation class through our local Seattle Mountaineers program. And so we knew like we
We did
needed
that
to
too.
get those things, like those were the basics that we really needed to get under our belt. We just didn't put it all together until we were earning points.
Okay, so
It's amazing.
don't let me interrupt you, Avis, but I have 2 questions based on
Go
that
ahead. Yeah.
information. So, how did
Mhm.
you 2 meet? And then who discovered the rally and was just like, this is what we're doing?
Yeah, so Trista and her husband have known my husband for a long, long time. They grew up in the same town here in Gig Harbor, Washington. And so when I moved to Vancouver, Washington, um, and started dating my husband, Reese, Trista and Tyler were down for a bike expo event, and their radiator broke. And so they reached out to Reese
I feel like
and
common
or
denominator in this
alternator? I mean,
relationship.
Alternator. It was an
Yeah.
alternator.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so they said Reese is like, "Oh, well, I'm at work, but this girl that I'm hanging out with can come meet you and help you guys while you wait to fix your alternator." And that was me. So I showed up and hung out with them, and we had rum and cokes on a sidewalk, and the rest was history. And
That's
then
awesome.
I eventually moved to Seattle while Reese was in school, and Trista and her husband were really involved with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and team and training. So that Trista talked me into doing triathlons.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was doing triathlons with her. She also talked me into doing a 24-hour mountain bike race and all these crazy endurance sports that I had never even done, like a 5K before in my life. And so one year, 2018, Tristan and I went to the Northwest Overland Rally in Plain, Washington. We knew nothing about off-roading. Tristan and her family just got a rooftop tent for their Forerunner, so the husbands were busy. So she's like, "Why don't you come and we'll do this together?" And so we went to every single booth that had food or an event or alcohol of some sort. And we just carried on learning about off-roading, and the Rebelle obviously was there. And so we sat down to a Rebelle happy hour, and I was like, "Trista, I'm going to sign you up. We're going to sign up for this someday. Like, this is what we're doing. We're doing
You
this.
have got me into so many things. I'm getting you into
Yes,
this now.
we can do this. We can do this." So then a few years passed, obviously, and I had 2 girls, and Trista broke her leg, and then my youngest was 5 months old, and Trista was learning how to walk again, and I signed us up.
Wow.
Yeah. The text message was,
Get up.
I signed us up. Can you send the check? Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But I
oh, by
didn't
the
know it
way,
was
you need
gonna
to walk.
Yeah, I was just learning how to walk unassisted. I was finally off of like a forearm crutch. So that was a really big, really, really, really big endeavor our first year that we did it.
Incredible
And
story.
so now you guys are running for Ford Performance in the 4x4 category. How is that?
Yes, so it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So the first year, obviously, we were driving in a Ford. We met Melissa, and she was with Ford in the Bronco Sport still, and we just made really good connections with her, and she was building the team for Ford Performance. So at that time, she brought us on, and we were destined to be in X Cross again. We were going to be in a Ford Maverick, a little baby truck, and it was going to be great, and it was going to be awesome. And since Ford Performance took over the team from marketing, they were like, we kind of want everyone in 4x4. So then we were like, whatever it takes, we're in.
Yeah.
We can learn how to drive a 4x4 vehicle. It's going to be fine.
Sign us up.
Yeah, sign us up. Whatever you need. We will drive anything. We still will drive anything. And that
Right? Give me the
started that.
keys.
Yeah, started that relationship. So
Yeah, I mean, secretly, I was definitely like panicking. We were like texting. I was like, "Oh my gosh, do you remember?" I remember very specific moments. I was so thankful we didn't have to go on the 4x4 route. But but that's a very different perspective once you're in a vehicle that's meant to do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like any other sport. Like I mountain bike a lot, and you'll be like, "Oh, that looks terrible." but if you're on the right thing to do the thing, it actually feels just fine.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool and empowering thing once we started training in the, like we were just like, we named our vehicle LeVar because we were in the sand dunes, and Chris is just like, I can drive anywhere. And here we are doing like, rainbows. So very reading rainbow themed
That's
there.
so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Nice.
What was your
Nice.
second year like after the first year?
We were hoping for, if we could get above in the top 10, we were going to be ecstatic. And that was the expectation set for us with Ford as well. Like, if they knew we were rookies in driving in that field, and so if we were able to get in top 10, we were going to be so excited. And so we trained as much as we could. We did the Rebel U's. We spent as much time in the sand with that vehicle that we could possibly do without knowing
Mhm.
what we needed. And yeah, it was frightening, but it was amazing. Like Trista said, it was super empowering to be in that vehicle. But yeah, we just, like, the first year, you just get going and you're like, oh, okay, like, we are doing well. We are doing well, and this is fun, and we're just gonna keep doing it and see how it all ends up.
And today's a gift.
And today,
Today's a gift. I was gonna
yes.
say, like, it's something that I think as a repeat competitor, it's harder to hold on to, of taking the pressure off. I don't even know how to quantify how that feels, but because it was such a gift, there was no pressure. It was like, we are here, we're ecstatic to be here. And then when we're on course that rookie year, this was kind of like an Ironman thing. This in my head, or like climbing a mountain. It was like a one and done. Can you do it? And then we're on course, and Chris and I at the same moment are basically like, so we
This
see
is
what's in
fun.
front of us, and we're like, so clearly we have to do this again, right? And we're both like, yeah, but how? Like, the time
Mhm.
commitment's great, the expense is great. We have kiddos. Chris is our younger, and it's just a lot. It's a lot to do, and then when Ford came with the offer for us to be able to be competitors of theirs, then it became a gift again, because we really didn't know how we were going to swing it.
Mm.
And so we've tried to really hold on to that spirit of the rally is the gift. And there's something really magical at the start line of not knowing what journey you're going to go on that day.
Mm.
And I think we try really hard to hold on to that as much as we can. I feel a little bit of the pressure this year. Like, we're coming back. You want to stay doing great. I think it's getting harder for me to hold
It's year
on to that.
10.
There's just big
Yeah.
things. There's a whole extra day of stages. There, just this. Yeah, it's harder. I feel like this year for me to,
Well, a lot of people are coming back. A lot
and a
of
lot
the
of people are coming back.
like they're wanting that
Yeah.
redemption of, or not even, I don't even know if redemption is the right word, but it's just like to prove to themselves that they still have it
Yeah,
after, being gone a little while.
yeah. So there's so much opportunity. Chris and I we, in our conversations are trying to talk about how much opportunity there is to still like to do well.
Hmm.
But it's really, it is more difficult, I feel like, this year to pretend maybe that there isn't pressure. I've never felt the external pressure. I've been very like,
You're very
Chris and
even
I
kill.
are Chris and I are in our own little world in our car. I have to say, I just assume we laugh more than the average team. I mean, we make mistakes and we just start like dying. We're just like cackling in the car when things go wrong.
Hmm.
I think that holding that is like really that holding that space is really important. But when you
Yeah.
want good results, I'm like, how do you keep holding on to that? Holding on to just that magic of the day, the thankfulness for the day. Um, I don't know.
I think it was you that came up to me after our first day or whatever, and we got third. And you're like, "We knew y'all were gonna be good, but dang." And I was just
Mhm.
like, "Oh crap."
Yeah, see, I know. You're like, yeah, let's celebrate it, but not. Let's
No.
not. Yeah, let's not talk
We're not
about
talking
it.
about it.
Some people
No,
don't look at their scores, right? They just don't even want
I
to know.
didn't. I didn't
Hmm.
for a
Yeah.
while until it started getting into my head, and then I'm already there early in the morning in the tent, and so I was just like, I'm here."
So your progression of vehicles, you started in a Bronco Sport and then you moved into a full-size regular Bronco, like a Badlands edition
Wild,
or
wild crack, yeah. Hmm.
Wild Trek. Okay. And then is that the car you remain in, or have you switched vehicles?
We were in that vehicle again last year, and then this year we are switching vehicles. So it's pretty
Oh, are we
exciting.
allowed to know?
I think so. I think we had texted Trista earlier, and I was like, "Are we allowed to share this?" We are super stoked. We are going to be in a Ranger Raptor.
A Ranger Raptor.
Mhm.
Ooh, that's my favorite
That's
raptor.
awesome.
It's
How
awesome.
fun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome. We picked it up
You've had
about a month ago, and we're
Okay,
able
I was
to.
gonna say you've had seat time in it and
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll have a lot more
ah,
coming up in the next couple months, but right now it's getting wrapped, so I'm excited. Then it'll look like a real race truck, rally truck.
Yeah.
yeah.
So are
Yeah.
you going to be able to have your own individual? Like I know this was talked about last year. Is the team, like the Ford Performance team, going to all be wrapped the same, or are they going to kind of be individualized per team?
I don't think the wraps are released yet.
Yeah.
And we don't even
Yeah.
know. Ours is just at the shop. So I guess Kristen will know when she picks it up in a couple days.
Yeah. Yeah. But how fun, the Ranger Raptor. And so I have to assume that a pickup truck is another new style of vehicle for you both, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
And
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. How are you feeling about that? We were in
Um,
a Tacoma last year and I liked not having the stuff in the truck, like for the noise and like there's the clutter. Like it felt better in my mind to have less clutter in the truck, but then every time I had to get something, it was so dirty.
I know. Yeah, we are concerned about that. So we'll see how much we put in the truck versus out. We still have to kind of plan that space.
Yeah.
But I'm stoked. I think, the amount of time that we've had it with it so far, like we took it on the trails with Shelby's Bronco Raptor and it didn't skip a beat. Like everything that she could do in the Bronco Raptor, we were able to keep up. Obviously it has a little bit lower ground clearance than the Wild Track, but
Mm.
that didn't seemed to be a problem, and we took it on some pretty aggressive trails and hills and things like that. So, and sand too. We were able to hit up Glamis for a couple days, and it just floated. Like it just seemed lighter. Like the rear end not having all that like weight in it, it just kind of floated wherever we wanted it to go. So we're
Do
really
you,
excited about it.
do you know
Yeah.
what horsepower it has?
Not off the top of my head, to be honest. Do you
It's
know?
yeah, both numbers. So horsepower and then pounds of torque per tire are between like I think it's 410
Oh,
and
okay.
430 for each or four, so they're
That's
about
good.
both about 420. So it's about 100 more than we had in the Bronco, which kind of
Yeah.
blows my mind because like you're saying we came from the Bronco Sport. So we got into the Bronco and we're like, "Oh my gosh, this thing has all the power in the world." And now I've driven the truck around just a little bit and then I got back in the Bronco and I was like, "Oh, interesting. I'm not at 70 in like 3 seconds," or just funny.
Yeah.
Like you
Mhm.
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
it just yeah. I think that's I only hopped on the sand for a second because we didn't have a ton of time there. So and Chris and I'm just like, this feels really easy. She's like, "Yeah, it feels really nice." It just felt I don't think we were able to drive the sand maybe that or slower before. It felt like we needed a little bit more momentum.
Hmm.
We never had issues in the Bronco. It's just funny that like your perspective or changes on the spectrum of vehicles that we get to drive.
Hmm.
And so I feel like having that extra horsepower just like ready to go felt
How was
like
the
you could
sand
just
that day?
float.
It
Was
was
the sand?
hard as a rock.
It was
Oh,
really
okay.
It had
firm.
just rained, and it was cool,
Oh,
and
so then
yeah,
that's a good
Mm.
test. That's an
yeah,
even better test.
yeah.
So that will be fun. We'll go back when it's really hot.
Wow.
We'll see how it feels
You
then,
gotta
but
know. I
you
mean,
gotta
that's
know.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first year we were in the 392 Wrangler and that whole like when in doubt throttle out thing, that's a real thing in the sand. So the extra horsepower will be a lot of fun and it'll sound nice too.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of my favorite things. I'm like, I don't really but there's just buttons on the steering wheel and you can just change your exhaust. So you can just be like, let's have sporty exhaust or
Yeah.
it's a fun vehicle. How many buttons you have, I think that maybe shows that we're a little older, is like that everything's by like screen or button. You're like, I want to go into 4x4, or like it's just kind of like modern day vehicles just kind of crack me up in that way of
Which is such a
it's
huge
wild.
challenge. It's such a huge challenge though for the rally because they're like disable all the things, and so it's like with these newer vehicles, you're having a lot of issues whenever you're disabling things. So it's like,
Yeah, that's true. I think last year, I mean, obviously there's some changes for this year, But last year, I don't think a privateer team would have been able to put a ranger in. I think that would have been.
Probably not. I don't think the timeline of it being released or whatever.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
I
the
know
screen.
Amanda had one right before, and
Yeah.
we were wondering
Amanda
if
Walter.
Amanda was going to run it or not. But it felt like maybe that technology-wise would have been too hard to
Oh, gotcha.
figure out because so much of it is through the screen. You need
Yeah.
to have access through your screen.
So, Carissa, are you concerned with any of the horsepower as far as like the gas usage throughout the rally? I know you have to kind of maintain that. And so
Yeah,
going from a, X Cross to 4x4 and then now a even bigger machine.
I know. It's definitely something that's on our radar. We spent a lot of time watching it as we were training this for a week earlier this a month ago or so. And it definitely sucks a lot more gas, or at least faster, or something in that relationship when you
Yeah.
are off road versus on road. So it's something to watch. But it seems like, as far as rally requirements and stuff, it's right on track. I don't.
Okay.
We've never been like close to running out of gas, so I think we're fairly conservative. I'm not like a huge like throttle out person on
Right.
the on in the
You gotta be
dirt
smart with
or
it.
anything. So
Yeah.
I think that'll come to a benefit with this truck, because I think we will get a lot lower than we have in previous years. But I don't think I'm not concerned about it at this point, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think like
Yeah.
having because we kind of got it and then just went right into the sand a little bit. And I think all of our numbers got really skewed because it was like there were no good averages because it was like we just went into the thing that sucks the most. And so at
Yeah.
first we were like super concerned because we were watching the gauge and we're like, oh shoot, if this is what like our averages are
This isn't
gonna
gonna
look
work.
like, it isn't gonna work. But then when we got like trail and then everything, and then you're like, oh, okay, actually this seems
Yeah.
close.
Because
Yeah,
knock
it
on wood,
feels
we're
close.
not doing that sand every day.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, and
I'm like Tour de Sand. It's gonna be Tour de Sand. That's mentally I just prepare for that. I'm like, we're gonna hit.
The rally is a gift.
All,
The
yeah.
rally is a gift.
Well, and they ran one last year, so you have a little bit
Right.
of
Yeah.
knowledge of how that did, and I'm sure they share that. And
Yeah, that's totally what I was gonna say, is that like we know it can do it, because I know
yeah,
Bailey and Sedona didn't have an issue, so we're good.
yeah, they didn't have to cut
yeah,
it short. Also,
No.
though, like our sand segment, they like ran us a little less than previous years in how we went into Glamis, so we didn't have like the full 10-hour
10-hour
Yeah.
day.
experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of looking like that might play out similar this year. We'll see.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that a prediction, Trista? Am I hearing
Only because the
prediction?
schedule looks very similar. Of like marathon 2 camp is hecka hot, and
Yeah.
that's not where a finish line is. So it just looks a little bit staged, but that means nothing. We could be doing the extra whole day in the sand. Who who knows?
True, very true. I
Plot twist.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of going to final base camp and then leaving and then coming back. I like the arriving at final base camp and having the like, ah, because
Magic.
it's so much fancier. Yeah, like that to me, I was like, gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of that.
I know some people, even on our team, we were just talking. Some people really liked that, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I just, as we talk about things that are hard, it's like all hard, but Glamis or being in the sand is never not hard. So it always requires an extra physical, mental, driver, navigator. It just requires a little bit more of us to be like really
Mhm.
on it and not get ourselves in a bad situation. So I don't think you ever leave the sand feeling like, yeah, man, I got like a whole nother day's energy ready to go. So that transition was hard because I feel like you get in the sand and you just like want to give it your all and you kind of need to give it your all.
Mm-hmm.
So I
But you're
felt like
exhausted.
that, but you're exhausted. So the next day doing that was, I was like, I'm not a huge caffeine consumer. I just started drinking coffee in the last couple years, but I was going to fall asleep as we were driving through like Joshua Tree. I was like really trying not to like nod off on transit. So I was like, definitely took some like caffeine gummies before we got to Johnson Valley. It's like, I
Yeah, I was
gotta,
gonna say, like, I didn't have any like history with the rally as far as what to expect or if I like it or if I don't like it.
yeah.
I just know as a driver, that was very hard to be like a slow speed through the Joshua trees because you're like having to go through this national park and you're like really tired. You have a headwind that's sucking your gas and you're worried about your tank. And then it's just like, and then, oh yeah, you got to go back into chasing checkpoints and like a mental switch of like, let's go. And it was just, that was hard as a driver, not so much as a rally participant, but
Yeah.
it was just hard. Yeah.
It did.
I mean,
It did.
It's fun.
we finished it, you know.
Yep.
We got there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We all sit here today.
Yes.
We all sit
Yeah.
here today. Yes.
Are you gonna have like a tonneau cover on the back of your truck? Can you modify if it's okay?
We could put one on if because it's an option.
Okay.
But we have a spare tire that's
Mm,
standing, so we won't put one on. So we
okay.
will get our things that will be back there will get very dusty. So we have to be selective on what we want
That's
to
my
take
mentality is
out
I
of the dust.
just like you're in it like you're driving through those silt beds. Like I'm just thinking of those silt beds again. Like you already feel like you're breathing it in just looking at it. I can't imagine at the end of the day. It just would be a mental thing for me.
I know.
Yeah.
For me, I was like, I'm already dirty. Like I'm dirty. I can't actually. It's like being wet. I can't get wetter. I can't get dirtier than the dirt of coming off of a silty day in the rally. So for me,
Trista
it was
gets
just
me.
like
She uses different
whatever.
pillows. She uses
Yeah.
different
Mm-mm.
pillowcases. She gets it.
I definitely want nothing I will actually touch or use to be in the back of the truck. So, yeah, I I am not the same. Uh, Carissa
Okay,
and I are very different.
now the word I'm sensing is negotiation, and I'm looking at you, Carissa.
I'm
Yeah,
fist bumping Trista over here.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Carissa
yes.
knows. I mean, I got concerned. She didn't even tell me what happened, but when we were at Johnson Valley, and then we were heading out for marathon to come back, and I'm just like plotting that morning with my earplugs in, but Carissa like barely made it to the driver's meeting, and she is like filthy. So I look over at her real quick, earplugs in. She's got her notepad. She's like, "We're fine, we're fine." But sweat is like beating down her, and she is filthy. And I'm like, there's no way she's fine. I would not be fine. But she's like, we're good. We're good. Just do what you need to do. I'm like, okay, she's made it to the meeting. All right, I'll keep doing what I'm doing. But no, we totally had a flat tire. And Carissa was having to access everything. And there was no part of your vehicle that was safe to touch from all the layers of silt. And thankfully, somebody else helped her. But it was like, she was so awesome and didn't tell me. She was like, nope, we're good. We're going to be fine. We're going to be good. She had packed up camp. She had dealt with the tire. She had, had to access the air, everything. And it showed. She was just head to toe. Like she's like trying to dust off her vest to like sit in for the meeting and stuff. And that's, I will do anything necessary always. I'm too competitive not to.
Yeah.
But if I cannot, I definitely would prefer not to.
Yeah. There was good
I
times.
feel this.
Interesting.
I was like, whatever I can do to not throw Trista off right now is more important than just being.
So take notes for those people who want Trista to sweat a little, get her a little dirty.
Right?
It's so ridiculous too because like all my hobbies, all of them are like dirty, filthy things. And I actually don't like being dirty. So I typically, something that my mom noticed on the Rebel feed, watching live and everything, was that my nails are always done. And I never have my nails done, but I always have my nails painted for the Rebel because I can't
Because you
handle
can't see the dirt.
I can't handle seeing the dirt under my nails
Yeah.
all week. Yeah. So I
My
always have
first
like a
year.
darker color.
Yeah, my first year I didn't do my nails, and like I would clean my nails incessantly, and they would just get dirty again.
Packed,
I was like, I mean, I'm pretty good at being dirty because like you, we have a lot of dirty hobbies, but I was like, after that, I was like, I don't think I've ever been dirtier.
Yeah, and I
Like
think for me
ever.
it's like if I know I'm gonna do this thing and then everything's gonna get clean, oh I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
is not how the Rebel works.
Yeah.
So like day not even one this year, we're like setting up our tents and we're in goggles and everything. It was
Oh
just
yeah.
dirty from day negative. And
Yeah.
Carissa immediately is like, I'm so proud of you. You're doing so great.
Yeah.
You can't even have a headlamp on.
There was a point where you were like, "This is all not okay. This is not okay." And I'm like, "It's gonna be fine. It just is what it is." And then you were like, "Okay, all right, yeah, no, this is gonna be okay." And I was like, "I'm so proud of you. Look at you. You're rolling
I
around in
think
the
I,
dust."
I think I just like bonded with Trista and more in the last 10 minutes than I have ever.
Well, what got me was we left for like prologue, I think. I think it was just prologue that we left for. And I didn't close my duffel bag and close up my sleeping bag. And then all that wind came in and it was awful. And I was definitely like, this is my life is it's over. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's already in all my clean clothes. So there's nothing good that I'm ever going to
Yeah.
pull out. And it will always be in my sleeping bag because it's now like corn flour or something like in my stuff. And
See, if this would have
yeah,
been year one, you would be like, it's fine. It's a
it's
blessing.
fine. It's fine. And then I am like, I'm an allergy. I have allergies. I'm like a childhood asthmatic. And so I like panic a little bit when we can't even turn our headlamp on and you can't see, like all the particulates are in the air. And I feel like that was like every day last year.
You're suffocating.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
everywhere.
for sure.
We were sleeping with buffs on and like not every
Mhm.
night, but there were a couple nights where we were like,
Coming in the ceiling.
coming in
Although
the ceiling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what we
it's
now
like,
know is we have Princess and Pigpen. So that's what we got going on. The bottom row here are the princess, and the top are the Pigpen. It's fine.
Okay, I'm in the pig pen. That's fine. I'll take it.
yeah,
take
I
it.
have to like mentally tell myself it's okay when the dash is like dirty all week. Like I just have a hard time
I take a
with like
baby
my
wipe.
desk. Yeah, I
Does your
like yeah.
driver not get a baby wipe out every morning and clean your spot?
My driver does all the safe things like make sure our lights can be seen.
Okay, so
No,
I
she'll
mean,
be like filthy dusting off the lights and I'll be like,
yeah.
Okay. Okay, Trista, I have a nightmare for you. So envision last year and you're in your personal vehicle and we're driving through all of the silt beds. And after the rally, you go to clean the vehicle. And by you, I mean your husband, because he does most of the vehicle cleaning, if I'm being honest. And when he's done, I'm like, but what is that? So the silt. So my Tacoma is a 2019 and it still has the thing like the long stick that you push to reset stuff in the dash. Well, there's a small gap around that. The silt has gone into that and it's behind the plastic in the gauge cluster. There
Shoot.
is silt inside of the car. I mean, I'm sure somebody knows how to get that out, but I'm not ever going to.
so I
I'm
have
not
this
taking my
machine.
dash apart for
No,
that.
no, no. You can get like a little suction thing. I'm gonna bring it with on the rally this year. It's like a air nozzle blow thing because we're sponsored, so we have to have like we want to have all of our sponsor stuff. People are out there with brooms sweeping their silt off. So
Yeah,
I'm and the blowers in the mechanics bay were all used doing the same thing. I'm bringing like a little handheld blower.
there you go. Maybe,
mine
maybe
was
that
like
would work.
I'll just periodically text Carissa when I find silt and sand and things. So I'll be like, oh, because it's cold at the beginning, so I have like a parka. That's the only. I always bring like a long down jacket on their belt because it's either cold or it's not. There's not a real in between. And I
Yeah.
pulled that jacket out, and it was like, oh, there's like a half a cup of sand still in here.
When I messaged you earlier just about camping on Friday, I
Oh,
forgot to mention the fact that we used the Rebel tent for camping, and the last time that was used was the sandstorm in Glamis, and so I opened it and I was like, "Oh no, oh!" And Reese had already staked it down and everything, and I was like, "No!" I was like, "You needed to." I crawled inside and it's just plastered to the walls of the tent, just like a layer of sand, and I was like, "Hmm." Okay, well, I'm glad we discovered this now until so Tristan doesn't discover that I neglected to clean the tent after the rally.
because Carissa, are we using that tent next week?
Oh yes,
Okay.
it's outside right now. It's
Yeah, just
yeah, it's airing out.
She's
and then
Oh
she's
my
gonna come
gosh.
up to you like dirty again. You're like, it's fine.
it's fine. I mean, last year
Carissa and
though,
I are
Mhm.
we were
Rob
sleeping
just
in dunes.
you
Like
said
it was
yeah,
making dunes inside the tent. So it was like I was waking up in Agrabah. It was like I was in
yeah.
the dune. So I mean, so much just had to give last year, and that's just
Yeah.
what competition requires. But I wouldn't choose that. But we have to make those choices also on the tent because we have more than one. So it's like, do you want good airflow? Or
Yes.
do you want a secured tent for a sandstorm? You can't have both. So even though I don't like it, I would elect not to sweat in the oven box all night and be in the vented tent. But then as soon as we're hit with wind, we just
Yeah.
can't block it. So
I never knew about the sandstorm in Glamis at the self camp. Never knew
yeah.
about it. I sleep in my Jeep on
She
marathon
sleeps in her Jeep.
nights,
She
and
cheats.
so
I'm just kidding. It's not actually cheating.
I'm like, no, ma'am. And so yeah, I was like people were getting fire ants in their
Oh yeah.
tents. People
That
were
happened
like,
right around for us.
yeah, we were like, I'm like, I slept the best. Let's go.
We got really lucky. We were kind of like by a bushy shrub thing,
Oh yeah.
and we had parked vehicles next to somebody else's vehicle, and our tents were behind. And just how the wind came, we
Mm,
woke up with all that sand in our tent, but we weren't dealing with like
the whole
people were
night.
talking about how their tents were just so loud and so awful, and we didn't thankfully have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Nice. So, what have you learned that you can share with anybody else coming into the rally? Like, I mean, you guys have made it going into your 4th year, still friends, still teammates. That is an amazing accomplishment. What do you pack differently?
Uh,
Yeah. Well, we're always very slim on the packing. So
yeah.
if anything, we've packed more things as we've gone along, which is not normal. Most people cut things
Mhm.
as they go along. But we've definitely like added, like we're like, oh, we're gonna bring an extra pair of shoes, and that seems like, oh my gosh, we're gonna overpack. But this year, I think we're gonna have to tone it down a little bit, just with the space that we have, trying to eliminate things in the back. Um, but
But
yeah,
we're like the perfect team to go into the truck because we like barely pack the Bronco with a layer. Like
true.
we aren't even one layer on the Bronco. So, and
Oh,
that's with our
wow.
spare inside. We had, yeah, just so we are the perfect team to go in a truck, but we
Are
do
you taking a
probably
fridge
end
or
up.
no fridge?
Oh, Carissa and I are basic. So as much as we talk about not wanting to get dirty as much as possible, we bring no actual luxuries or amenities. So I don't like breathing in dust, but we are so plain Jane. Like our luxury item was a nice little broom for the tent. Like, yeah,
A
we
fan.
are.
We have a battery powered fan that we bring just in case.
Oh,
But we no,
Battery powered.
we've never had a fridge. We might have a fridge for training that we're like, oh, I don't know, it might talk us into it. But I don't know, it just seems excessive for us. We're simple. But as far as like being teammates and stuff, I think we just support each other really well, and we're really good at communication when it comes to things we aren't cool with, or things that may aggravate the other person, and we're willing to share those things before it gets to the point where it's not comfortable.
such
Uh,
as what? Can you give me like a
Yeah,
demonstration
I
of
mean,
that?
Carissa, what do you mean? What
uh,
accommodations do you have to make?
I just make sure that my shoes are in a bag. Um,
I was like, I mean, we were very, very honest our rookie year of like, what are the things that are going to break each other that we could anticipate? Because you can't anticipate really anything of
Right.
how what the rebel is going to do to you, but we could at
Right.
least anticipate we're camping together and we're going to spend a ton of time together. We're going to be together like 15, 16 hours a day. What are going to be those things? And I was like, I will die by feet. Feet will kill me. I can't handle it. Um,
Yeah, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. Like
okay.
you don't want feet touching you? Do y'all sleep in the same tent?
Oh yeah, we sleep in the same tent. Um, it's more like the smell of feet, and we're gonna be in our
Okay.
boots like 15 hours, right?
I
Like
need
we're in
to
our boots.
know.
Yeah, we're in our boots so long. I don't know. I'm saying 15 hours. What is it? I'm in my boots at 4 a.m. and I'm not out of them until sometimes after dinner, sometimes before. Depends how quickly we get in before dinner. I just knew that was going to be a thing for me. Of like we
Mhm.
didn't like. We also know what the desert is, so it's not like you can just easily leave your stuff outside. You got to then plan for that if you're going to leave your stuff outside. And so I was like, okay, we're probably going to bring them inside. So if we're going to bring them inside, we need to have a little bit of a plan of how we're going to deal with that.
Mhm.
So Carissa's
yeah,
awesome.
So you were like, Carissa, I will not deal with your stinky feet. You will put your shoes in a bag.
I mean, not Carissa specific. I mean, not like Carissa, you have no, I just knew shoes that you're in all day. And then we put them in our tent and it's hot. I'm not going to love that combination.
I mean,
I'm
That's
trying to
pretty
think.
clear to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other examples of things that we've been like, yeah, that's not working. Oh, I think when it comes to like an actual rally thing, we've worked a lot on our communication for enduros. I think that was something that we kind of would get hung up on in the beginning, our rookie year, that we focused our second year on enduros. That was like, if we knew if we scored at least half the points on enduros the
3
first
points.
year, we would have
We-
podiumed. So that was where we needed to work. So we spent a lot of time on that, and a lot of it came down to communication and what I needed to hear versus what she needed to read, and like things like that. The simpler the better. Like, let me know what direction I'm turning and let me know my speed. That's it. Nothing else, or else my foot on the pedal changes. So the things like that when it came down to like rally specific, is that's really helped us secure better scores in
We're
enduro.
also
Yeah.
just generally really kind to each other. I think we'll individually crush ourselves on our losses and our
Mhm.
errors. We don't need either of us to do that for each other. And
Mhm.
I get really bummed out when I hear how some teams talk to each other.
Mhm.
It really bothers me. We should not be swearing at each other. We should not be, even if I've heard teams say, oh, it's fine because I'm just frustrated at myself. So I'm talking to myself this way. And you're like, no, you kind of got an innocent bystander who doesn't know, are we okay? Did I?
Words are powerful. Lack
Words are
of words
so
and
powerful.
Yeah.
spoken words, both
So
are powerful.
powerful. And it's creating a whole vibe around you on what words you're using. And now are you a safe space for your teammates to even talk to you or help, or they don't know, like, if they triggered stuff. So I get super bummed sometimes when I see how teams um, work or don't work. I think that's the number one things of why people or teams might not view their rally year as being as successful as they want. I think it mostly
Mhm.
comes down to what happens inside the car. So I think Carissa and I have, like she said, we've known each other for a really long time, and we've known each other through endurance events. So we were already doing things that like physically really were uncomfortable. Um, and challenging. And I got Carissa to do some of those like cycling alley cat races too. So we were like, maps, checkpoints. How fast can you
Yeah.
get where? Make a route. And now you're pedaling. And so then we got to a car and it was like, oh, well, yeah, this
So
is
you
hard, but
you
we're
had
not
already
like,
trauma bonded. So then you're
yeah,
just switching the trauma to a
we're
different
just
thing.
switching the trauma. And so we've taken we're not physically running these courses or biking these courses. But I think there's
Mentally.
so much to be said in how we speak to each other. Carissa will know when I'm sad or disappointed or frustrating. I know now it took me a little bit of like when Carissa's too quiet, Carissa will be quiet. But mostly Chris is quiet and content. And then there's like like when we were driving into the
Like
sand dunes
something's
last
wrong.
year and you could see the sand in the air for like ever. And we were like, oh shoot, we're driving into a low visibility situation. And Chris is like overly extra quiet. I'm like, uh-oh. We gotta how about water or snacks or music? We found some crazy radio station in the desert. That was really special. So yeah, I think how we communicate is number one, and I don't think you'll ever hear. Hopefully, we hopefully have many more years ahead of us. But I hope no one ever hears Chris or I uh, act disparaging to each other, or that we would ever talk disparaging about each other. So I think those are two things that you probably won't witness from us that I
Definitely.
think is really common. And I don't know. So I think we try to be really uplifting and encouraging. I want to be perfect. I don't want to be a negative 1 point on the black. I want to be like right there. And Chris is definitely more in reason of perspective of like, oh my gosh, but you were like 90% there. That's like amazing. That's like an A plus. Like that's
Like
like,
like Sedona said, it's not a bullseye. It's a
yeah,
bullseye. It's a
yeah,
circle, not an X.
There you go. Oh, that's
yeah.
a good one.
That's a
I'll be
good one.
using that one in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all, at the end of the day, at the end of your rally day, maybe at the end of your rally even, do you discuss your day or do you discuss how your rally went? Do you have like a whole debriefing and then
I think not officially. I don't think we have like, okay, come with me. We had to have our like
no.
enduro debrief. But I think we definitely talk about where we are and then like, the standings, where
Hmm.
we like what happened on the misses. Like we definitely need to figure out like what went wrong. Did we already know about it? Was it a surprise? How do we fix that? And then we just move on because that day's over. Now we need to focus on where are we going next? Where could we
Yeah,
possibly be heading? And what's that going to look like? And how can we improve on the things that we had an issue with the day before?
and do you do that at the end of the rally too?
We definitely have way more of a debrief at the end of the rally. And sometimes I feel like we kind of take a few weeks or a month to really kind of like on our own like figure it out and then come back together, because usually Trista's going somewhere and I'm going somewhere else. We don't have like time to sit down, but like a month or so we're like, okay, like what happened. And our husbands are also very invested, so they'll want to know like
Yeah.
what happened here, what happened there, how did this work out. And so we have to like regurgitate almost instantly after the
You were
rally.
circling a blue. Why didn't you click the
Yeah,
blue? Everybody else
exactly.
clicked the
Mhm.
blue.
And they
Well,
know, like they
and they
know
know.
exactly which one it
Yeah.
was, you know.
Hmm.
And so that's helpful in a way to like like in the moment after the rally to regurgitate all that stuff as it's still there. But then as a thoughtful process, probably about a month later, we have more of a in-depth description of like what do we need to work on this year that was challenging for us. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of that comes down to your daily strategy, right? So when our husbands were like at the finish line this year and it was like, and you're like, oh, yeah, well, we thought we would do this. And then that didn't quite work out the way we wanted to. So then we tried, and it was really a lot of it was like strategy. But I don't think, yeah, you're in the frame of mind to be like, well, what would we have done that was better or different or
Right.
more effective yet? So it always takes us a little while to come back and be like,
And to look at
what's
it, to look at the
look at
tracker
it
and to
and see your trends of like what's the trend, am I short, am I long, am I like what's the navigational trend, what's
Mhm.
the driving trend, if we're feeling a little bit of slip somewhere, like I don't know, we just kind of go through little things, but it's also, I think Chris and I try to be really careful, and it was something I cautioned another team is like, also the rally's done, so what mistakes have already happened has happened. Use a
Right.
very fine line of talking about it in a constructive way to make improvements. It is much easier to talk about it in a way that's really damaging to you and your partner going into next year. So sometimes it's just like things are just flat up a mistake. Like I literally last year, day one of last year, two last year, um, we're like physically leading the day, and I write down the exact distance that we need to go, and I say something different to Carissa. It's never happened
Mhm.
before, but it took me forever to figure out, like in that
What
moment,
happened?
why am I exactly 500 meters off? Like exactly what happened? And I had written 1.3, and I'd said 1.8.
Mhm.
That's never happened before. It's never happened again. But just those little things that you kind of are like, Carissa, we could talk about that all day, every day. What good
It
is
ain't
that
gonna
going
help.
to do?
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
to change what happened. It's not a pattern of behavior. It's not a navigational skill we need to work on. It's not a driving skill that we need to work on. So I do think there is a very like fine line of like, all right, what are actually like action item oriented things that
Yeah. Patterns of behavior.
yeah, like, and that
Yeah.
we need to improve on. And it's more of almost like goal setting. Like Carissa will know that I get like, I'll like spiral and be like, I'm going to read every book that has ever existed, or I'm going to learn some stupid equation that we'll never use. But what's much more productive is to be like, hey, Carissa, what are your goals for this year? Oh,
Mhm.
we are getting a new vehicle. Okay, like, what do you want to work on this year? Like how we prioritize what the little goal setting list is instead of
Mhm.
going through just like, because I think especially if you had a tough rally, if you're just going to hash through your mistakes, like that can be um
Defeating.
very defeating, and you're already like starting negative for the next year instead of being like, all right,
Mhm.
so much went well, because honest to god, anybody who crosses the finish line, so much went well. So much went well.
Yeah.
Even if you're in last place, so much went well. That is like, all right, what can we talk about that's proactive that actually is going to add that 10% a day? Or, yeah, we're
Yeah.
talking, I mean, Chris and I are talking about how do you add one more flag a day? How do you add one more? And that gets like, that's hard to figure out. That's hard to figure out, like the positive solutions. So I don't think we
Yeah.
focus too much. There's like the funny mistakes, because that day, at that distance that I told Carissa we needed to go that was wrong, we got out of the car and there was a dead badger in the road face up. So we were like, I don't know if Rebel picked the dead badger as the definitely did not. Definitely did not. So that's more of like those things for us to talk about are more funny
The honey
than
badgers were here.
than maybe the actual mistakes you made, because man, it
Yeah.
sucks to make a mistake.
It does, but like you said, I mean, there's no coming back from it, and it's not a pattern. So what happened to that? Oh, I screwed up. That's what happened to that. I mean, at least once a rally, I make a navigational error, and usually I just said this on the last podcast. I was like, "You want the good news or the bad news?" The good news is we're right where I think we should be. The bad news is the rally doesn't want us here. They want us in the actual spot, not the spot I plotted.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
the good
But I
news is
plotted
we're
it right.
really good at going to the place I think we should be going. The bad news is I'm wrong. So, let's come around and figure this out.
yep.
I
Stand
mean,
by.
it should be that simple, right? Because we all make mistakes. Like, those kinds of silly mistakes happen.
Yeah, and we grow and we learn as we do this. So Chris and I were just doing some training, and it was off of our rookie year maps, and
Mhm.
I was so frustrated. I was just like, "We are gonna sit here and figure this out." And Krista was like, so done. It was like day a million, and I don't often see Carissa done, but she was done. She was just like, "Can we just move on?"
It's
Not.
raining.
It was raining in Nevada. We're done. Um, and I was like, I think if it had been one, but it was back to back 2 points
Mhm.
that I was just perfectly off, that it was messing me up. And it was the plotting. It was the plotting
Yeah.
from my rookie year. And because I had plotted in um, permanent ink, because again, I had never plotted before our
Yeah.
rookie year, I couldn't erase it and put a more fine dot. So when you're measuring distances like that, you're
Yeah.
off 100 meters, like
Quick.
so fast. So I was like, man,
Yeah.
I'm again off. Like I was off like 150 and like close to 200 meters back to back. And we really, Carissa walked me emotionally through that. It was Trista 2022 that was the problem. And I couldn't measure better distances because one, my dots were bigger and I couldn't erase them to put a small thing over them. But I don't know. So again, I don't know. All to say, like we talk very nice to each other, and sometimes you just suck and make a mistake, and
Go ahead.
you got to move
Yeah.
on.
Anything that you think just off the top of your head for this next year? Any like surprises? What have you been playing though? What is Emily gonna do this year? Game?
Definitely. I think for us it's we know she's going to go back to a lot of really cool places that we've been or we haven't been. So our
Like an
focus.
Emily tour?
Yeah. So we're gonna figure out like the places that we haven't experienced and try to hit them versus the places we've already run before. Because last year we did go train in Dumont Dunes before the rally, and then it happened to be where we were going as well. And so that was so helpful just to know the terrain, know that valley,
Yep.
before, because we had no idea. And that's kind of how we've always run, because we never experienced the desert before we started doing the Rebel Rally. So every time we go to a new place, it's absolutely foreign and crazy to us. So the more we can experience before, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think that too. I think it'll be an Emily tour. I could be
I know.
wrong. I could be wrong.
I just like, I mean, it just feels like it's going to be like a top 10 playlist, right? Like if you're looking down and knowing you're going to have a 10-year, or you get to have a 10-year, it's been that successful.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just feel like what my heart's desire would be to make maybe the course I've always dreamed of. I remember our first year when it was Tonopah and we were in that Belmont Valley, like north side. Emily had said something for that it was somewhere that she had wanted to go for years, but they hadn't. They needed
Mhm.
all the pieces of technology to make it possible to support the media staff, to support everybody from being that unplugged. And that was the year that she finally could do that. So of course, I have zero clue. But I'm like, oh, if that's her,
Yeah.
you just know there's other places of probably her heart's desire of like, oh, I've always wanted to do that, but maybe the permits
Mhm.
were really hard, or maybe
Yeah.
certain
The
things. And
weather, who knows?
yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see. It's like, oh, we can always guarantee we're gonna be in the Mojave.
I feel like we're putting like a mixtape, like one of those cassettes that you could take
Yeah,
a pencil eraser in and like rewind it. Like I feel like we're putting that in and it's like Emily's top playlist. And it's
that's
like,
it.
okay, What's number one?
Yeah, and what's the
8
epic
days.
photo ops? I mean, the epic photo ops of like the Goblin Knobs are really cool this year.
Mhm.
Throne of Pinnacles, always
Mhm.
crazy, and sand.
Mhm.
We never look better than we look in sand.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of it around. So that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe it's just tour de sand.
I hope
Although,
not. I really hope not.
one of Emily's biggest pet peeves is that we think that she's predictable. So who
100%.
knows? It could
100%.
be,
Last year, I was so like, she's so tired of everybody learning Glamis. It's out. And I was like,
yeah.
I was so stoked when the Rebel shirt had the Joshua tree on it. I was like, there's not a sand dune on the shirt. There's not. But no,
Yeah.
Maybe
it was still the
maybe this
sand.
year maybe this year it's Jimmy's playlist.
Ah, that would be wild. We should
A
probably really
staff
buckle
playlist.
up then.
Where would a one track go? Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
Jimmy has his sights set on Utah, I've heard. He would really like to rally in Utah, but the verbiage on all of the ads clearly says Nevada and California. So
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking
Well,
no Utah.
the
But
permits are just hard. It's hard. The permits are hard.
one day I hope we come here to Utah because Utah is beautiful.
Yeah,
It
that would be
is.
really cool. But
Yeah.
back at Mammoth, we know we're going back to Mammoth.
Yeah. And then Pirates Cove. So you guys are
Yeah.
like me. We all came in the year after Pirates Cove. Kara
Yes.
is a 2 year, so we didn't do Pirates Cove last year. So
Mhm.
that'll be all new to us. But I am super excited about a physical standing shower that's not a trailer shower. I love the trailer showers, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to getting ready for the gala, like, I would like a little more space, and we usually camp, and so I've never had, like, an actual shower before the gala, so I'm looking forward to that. I hear that they're very delightful.
That's cool. Yeah, it seems like a
Yeah,
really awesome place to be. So we're stoked.
yeah.
I'm excited about the open finish line. I want to see my husband.
Yeah.
Like I like
Mhm.
even if it's just eye contact, like I will cry. Like I could cry now thinking about
Just
that.
thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
been something that's been missing. And from our like endurance sport background, it's like crazy to cross the finish line. And the people you see are like sponsor people you have no like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
We were like,
mean,
oh man, like yeah,
they're
and it's
cheering
so
and they're
great.
happy, but it's not the same as family members standing on the
No.
Yeah.
side cheering and
Yeah, it's not the
happy.
same as the people who like also
Yeah.
sacrifice to get you to the line.
Mhm.
Like this is a
Yeah.
the rebel's too big. If you have a family, it's a full family endeavor. If you have a partner, it's a
Yeah.
full couple endeavor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This takes time. Like Carissa and I think last year, I don't know, we were like 5 or 6 weeks away from our family, not including the rebel. Yeah, it's been something that I feel like it's just been missing. I understand the logistics and safety of that
Yeah.
are really hard. But it is
Yeah.
a moment that I'm looking forward to of like kind of like you cross the line at a marathon, Ironman, whatever. It's like who you want. Well,
You
actually
fall into the
it's your
arms.
teammate too. You
Yeah.
just like Carissa and I always like actually like get really emotional before we go across the finish line. We start getting
Yeah.
sad like
It's
a few days
over.
Yeah.
before.
No.
Mhm.
The
We're like
Ironman
yeah,
the
we're like
Ironman is
halfway
like
through.
the best finish ever when the announcer says, I've never done one, Rob's done one. So it's always, "Rob Cook, you are an Ironman." And everybody's like, "What?" And, you know,
So
the kids
that
run out and give him the sweaty hugs and all of that, you know, and you get this great picture, and we need that.
we need
Mhm.
that. So I love that
Yeah.
that's on the books to happen. I also totally respect the idea of it's really hard for us to enter the world back with our families again
Mhm.
too. So there is that push
Mm.
and pull of like who do I want to see at the finish line, but I also still want to have that moment to like embrace my teammate at the finish line. Chris and I have
Mhm.
always had this like sentimental just like hug at the end like
Yeah.
we've done it again. Like
We
well,
made it.
it's over.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Like we've always had that
Yeah.
moment. So I do like the balance of being like, I'd love to see them. I love that we still have our dinner and stuff. Like hopefully it's a little ease, but making the public a part of something that is this big helps, I don't know, almost secure what we're doing in their minds too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's great.
All the
Okay.
things.
On that note, I am going to close us out because we're just beyond our 1 hour of time that I ask for out of your schedules, and we are most appreciative of you giving us your time and your stories.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you guys in that Raptor on the starting line
Thank you so
and hearing
much.
it.
Thank
Yeah.
you for having us. This is awesome.
Yeah. Really
All
fun.
right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.